focusing on the cost function, the revenue function, the profit function, the differentiation. Then I discuss with you the concept of marginality. How do we calculate the marginal cost, marginal revenue, marginal profit? From there, we also talk about break-even analysis. And then in the last class, I talk about the most important application of differentiation, which is knowing the maximum and the minimum by applying the first derivative test. So I hope you can easily recall the first derivative test which I have discussed with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The best part of first derivative test is that it is a step-by-step process, irrespective of the nature of the method of the question. Whatever may be the question, is it a marketing question? Is it an HR problem? Or is it an inferential problem? Any problem whereby we are calculating the maximum or the minimum, we have to apply the first derivative test. And the steps of the first derivative test are very standard that you need to apply. Uh, because I have not discussed any question, any numerical, so today I would like to start with one numerical question focusing on the maximum or the minimum, that is the application of differentiation in knowing the maximum and minimum. I'm showing one question to all of you with this understanding that you have a clarity about the basic steps of maximization and minimization or a first derivative test. But still, feel free if anything is not clear to you, कहीं कोई confusion है, कहीं कोई doubt है, so do not hesitate in raising your queries and asking questions, because this is the whole purpose of taking these sessions. So let me share my PowerPoint presentation with all of you, and then we will discuss. Yeah, I think this is what. Is my slide visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay, good. Now, the problem revolves around the very familiar type of functions, which we have discussed several times. If you see, the first one is the cost function, which is given as Cx equal to 60,000 plus 60x. Right? And then below to this, we have the price function, Px, small p. Remember, this is the small p. So we have the price function 200 minus x divided by 50. So cost and the price is given to you, right? Which is mentioned in the question, monthly cost and the price demand equation. The first function is the cost function and the second function is the price function. This is the information which is given in the question. Now let us see what is the first part of this question. The first part of this question is, what is the production level at which now the revenue is maximum? What is the production level? That is, if you see, it is, this question revolves around the manufacturing of television set, and X in this equation represent the number of televisions manufactured. So what is X here? X is the number of televisions set manufactured by the company per month. So they are asking, what is the level of production? That is, how many number of televisions would be there at which the revenue attains its maximum? वो क्या लेवल होगा, कितने टेलीविजन मैन्युफैक्चर्स करने पड़ेंगे आपको in order to maximize the level of your revenue, maximize the revenue. So let me focus on this part only, maximization of revenue. Now which function we have to maximize? Revenue function. So tell me the answer of this question. Do we have the revenue function in this question? क्या इस क्वेश्चन में रेवेन्यू फंक्शन दे रखा है या हमें कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा?
No, sir, we have to calculate.
We have to calculate. And quickly go back to the fundamentals of how to calculate revenue. So revenue function conceptually is equal to revenue equal to number of units manufactured multiplied by per unit price. So number of units manufactured multiplied by per unit price. So what it would be? What is the number of units manufactured?
X.
X.
Yes.
And multiplied by per unit price, Px.
Px.
So x into px. So if you do so, you will get revenue function Rx. I will open up my Word file and that will help you to understand it further. Just 1 minute, I will show my Word file to all of you so that I can explain you the calculation. Is my Word file visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
What we need to calculate? We need to calculate the revenue function. That is R bracket X. This we need to calculate. Now, according to the definition, it would be number of units X multiplied by the price per unit. That is small p into X. This is what we have. ये हमें निकालना है. This is the revenue function that we need to calculate. Okay. Now let us try to find it out. This how to.
Excuse me, sir, you're not audible.
Might be some network problem. Sir.
What's wrong? Yes. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm just sharing my Word file. Yeah. Minus, so x into px, 2 minus x divided by 50. Just for your information, I am receiving lot of requests to join the class. It's already 10:30, and the scheduled time of the class is 10:15. So I request all of you to please join the class on time whenever I give you the time. I already given you a 15-minute margin to join the class. I don't know. There are certain students who are asking me to join the class, but I'm not allowing to join. Kindly inform all the students who are late. I will just drop a message. And there is one more thing which I would like to discuss with all of you. Am I audible to you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
I am receiving lot of messages on my this group regarding the class and the class timing. Let me clear this point with all of you. I don't know what is going on in the other classes. I try my level best to join the class on time. Okay, but there are certain pressing issues from the department side, not from the personal side, from the department side, because of some important work, due to which I postponed the class or I didn't take the classes. Right? Even if there is a delay, then I am receiving a lot of messages as if somebody is giving me, like, yeah, just now I received a message that, sir, it's already 2 minutes, 10:15 past. Please allow me to join. So I know the time. I request all those who are sending me this type of messages to please keep patience. I am a responsible teacher of the department. Okay. So I always take care of this part. Don't worry about this. So please avoid sending all these types of message to me that please allow me to. It's just a 2 minutes time. Somebody is joining at 10:17. I have given the time of 10:15. So have a patience. X into that is 200x minus x square divided by 50. This is the revenue function that we are getting out of it.
Yes, sir.
Now what we need to do, we have to find it out at what value of x, this value, at what value of x, the revenue function r x attains its maximum. That is, they will get its maximum. This is the one. So at what value of x the Rx attains its maximum value? What is the way out? Which test we have to apply? We have to apply
First
First
derivative.
differentiation.
First derivative. First differentiation. First derivative. Right? This is what we have. So now let me go ahead with this. The steps which I already discussed with you. What is the first step? Yes, R. What we need to do? Yeah, differentiate. So we have to take the differentiation of this. We go for this R dash x. We go for this R x. Calculate this. Calculate differentiation of this. Calculate this R dash x. So what you need to do?
So 200 minus x upon 25.
Okay. Calculate Rx. Then put this R dash x equal to 0.
0.
Yeah. This. Put this equal to 0. And find the values of x. आप x की वैल्यू निकालिए कितनी आ रही है. Then
2000.
choose
5,000.
two values
5000.
of x. Two values. x1 and x2. Check R dash at x. This one R dash x. Check R dash x at x1 and at x2. What we need to check here? We need to check the sign. And then we conclude whether we have the maximum or the minimum. So this is the revenue function. We have to take the first derivative of this revenue function. If you take the derivative of this function, this will become 200 minus 2x divided by 50. Then in this here, you need to put this expression equal to 0. And put it equal to 0. Yes. If you put it equal to 0, you will get values of x. Yes, what value of x you are getting from here?
5,000.
5,000. You are getting 5,000. Now choose two values x1 and x2. What is the rule for choosing the two values x1 and x2? हम x1 और x2 कैसे choose करते हैं? One value less than. So x1 equal to, which is toward the left side. So let me take it as 4999 and choose another value x2 equal to, which is more than 5,000. We have 5001. Am I correct? Am I right in choosing these two values?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. यहाँ कोई confusion किसी को जो पहली बार इसको solve कर रहे हैं, for the first time they are applying first derivative test, कोई confusion तो नहीं कि on what basis we choose x1 and on what basis we choose x2? कोई confusion? कोई doubt? कोई question?
No, sir.
Okay. So then we calculate R dash x at x1 and x2. So that means we have to take this R dash x. So first we put R dash x1 equal to 4999. So equal to. अब if you put it here, R dash x, आपको यहाँ पे वैल्यू रखनी है ओरिजिनल फंक्शन में. You have to put it here. So we have to put it here. So that means how much this is? 200 minus 2 into x. 2 into x means how much is this? 499. Whole divided by 50. Yes, what is the value that you are getting from here?
So 0.04.
0.04 plus minus.
The
So
plus.
plus.
Plus 0
0.04.
0.04. Let us take it the other value then. 0.04 plus 0.04 plus 0.04. 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 0.04 plus 0.04 plus 0.
minus 0.04.
Just wait. Yeah, this one. Now we have to find out this value here. 5001 not equal to 0. Right? Then we have 200 minus 2 into 5001 divided by 50. So what are you saying? Minus
0.04.
0.04.
So is the sign changes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
From which direction? From plus to minus. So from plus to minus, if I say, so sign changes from positive to negative. तो अगर साइन पॉजिटिव टू नेगेटिव चेंज हो रहा है, द स्लोप चेंजेस फ्रॉम पॉजिटिव टू नेगेटिव, दैट इज द टेंजेंट इज चेंजिंग फ्रॉम एक्यूट एंगल टू ऑब्ट्यूज एंगल. So acute to obtuse, what does it mean? Is it a point of maximum or minimum?
Maximum.
Maximum.
So that means at x is equal to 5000, yes, at x is equal to 5000, the revenue function attains its maximum. Attains its maximum. This is the conclusion that we need to understand. So sign changes from this one. And if I ask you what is the maximum revenue, ये तो ये था कि at what level. So level is x is equal to 5000. Now if I ask you what is the maximum revenue, then what you need to do here?
Put x is equals to 5000 in Rx.
Rx.
So here in this expression of revenue function, यहाँ पे हम क्या करेंगे? R यहाँ पे 5000 रख देंगे. We put 5000. Now if you put 5000, you will get the maximum revenue. So anybody out of you will give me the final answer.
5
What is
lakh.
the maximum revenue?
5
5
lakh.
lakhs.
So this is the point that we have. Maximum revenue is 5 lakh rupees at x is equal to 5000 according to the revenue function that we have obtained from here. Let me go back to my PowerPoint one again so that we will correlate the two things. Yes. So if you refer to this question once again, so here it is given. The A part is what is the level of production that will maximize the revenue? We have the answer x is equal to 5000. What is the maximum revenue? The maximum revenue is also given. And what is the price that the company needs to charge at that level? So they are asking you to calculate the price at x is equal to 5000. So I think the direction is very clear. We have the price function px is equal to 200 minus x divided by 50. You put this x equal to 5000 in the price function and you get the price. So what would be the price?
100.
100. Ahmad, you are asking anything?
No, sir, saying 100.
Okay, fine. So this is what. Now let's move to the B part of the question. What is the B part of the question? Yes, find the production level, that is level of production, that is x value that will maximize the profit. अब इन्होंने revenue की जगह अब आपसे कहा profit function. So conceptually, how do we get the profit function?
Revenue minus cost.
Minus cost.
Revenue हमने इससे पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में निकाला ही था. We have the revenue function x square 200 x minus x square by 50. You need to subtract it from the cost function. Do we have the cost function in the question?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's 6000 minus 60x. You will get the final profit function. Now once you get the profit function, you have to repeat the same steps. आपको वही steps repeat करने होंगे. Apply first derivative test and you will obtain the value of x at which the profit attains its maximum value. And then the same story that we have the two values of x. So any doubt, any question regarding first derivative test? कोई आपका पॉइंट ऐसा है जो क्लियर ना हुआ हो तो वो मुझे स्पेसिफिकली बताएं ताकि मैं आपको क्लियर करूं. आई विल क्लियर योर डाउट्स ऑन दैट. Nothing? Shall I move ahead now?
Yes, sir.
No problem. Right, this is the solution that you have already obtained. This is a profit, and this is then you obtain this value. Last point which I would like to discuss about the solution side is always remember in the examination also. You cannot leave your answer by just simply giving the value x is equal to like 5,000 and revenue is this. Not only the numerical value, your interpretation of the result is very important. अगर आपको full marks चाहिए, so you should have to write the interpretation at last. Like the para, if you see the paragraph which I mentioned here, see this paragraph, last paragraph, this one. So do always remember that the numerical, after your numerical calculation, the interpretation in the language is very important. जैसे इसमें लिखा हुआ है, the maximum revenue of 5 lakh is achieved at a production level of 5,000 sets per month, which are sold at the price of 100 each. So in simple language, you have to write down the meaning कि x इतना आया तो revenue ये था तो profit ये था. This interpretation part is necessary and that would be the concluding line of your solution. If you just simply calculate the numerical value and leave it there, you will not get the full marks. Because understanding of the numerical value is important for us. मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया था कि जो calculations होते हैं वो तो system भी कर देगा. We have sophisticated softwares, we have programs, you enter your value and they will give you the answer. But they will not interpret that answer. As a manager, you need to develop the interpretation. You have to draw the meaning out of that. So drawing meaning out of that means that you have to note it down your answers properly. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
So with this, I will closing this PowerPoint file slide now. So this is a big. This is in summary a snapshot of the various aspect of the calculation, the application of calculus, that is differential calculus. Now let us move ahead to the second half of the calculus part. What is the second half of the calculus part? It's not only the differentiation which is important. Even the second half of the discussion, second part of the calculus is more important than differentiation. What is that second half of the calculus? Right from the start, right from the start, I told you that calculus is bifurcated in two parts. The first half is we call it as differentiation, and the second half we call it as integration. अब ये जो दो words हैं इनको समझना बहुत जरूरी है. पहले we go into the technicality, we go into the formula, we go into the application, but you should have a clarity. आज की डेट में अगर कोई आपसे ये पूछता है कि what do you understand by differentiation? So I hope that you can easily answer this question, that differentiation is the change in one variable with respect to another. And it is also the slope of the tangent. This answer, So the first part is that it tells you about change in one variable with respect to another, and second part is it also represents the slope of the tangent at that point of time. ये जो दो definition है differentiation की, you always have to remember. Now, then what is integration? What is this integration all about? Integration, before talking about the mathematical definition, let us talk in literal terms. The word integration is derived from the word integrate. Integrate. What is this integrate? Integrate means that you join a small component to get the large one. आप छोटे छोटे टुकड़ों को मिला के कुछ बड़ा बनाना चाहते हैं. That is integrate. And the process of joining small elements to get a large one is known as integration. तो बिल्कुल यही आपको अपने माइंड में अपनी यू हैव टू कीप दिस थिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ योर आईज कि आप छोटे छोटे एलिमेंट्स को मिला रहे हैं टू गेट द लार्ज. दिस कंसेप्ट ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. एंड मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द फॉर्मूलाज दैट यू हैव स्टडीड, आपने मैथमेटिक्स में जितने फॉर्मूलाज पढ़े हैं, दे आर डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम दिस अप्रोच ओनली, दैट वी जॉइन स्मॉल एलिमेंट टू गेट ए लार्ज वन. एग्जांपल्स आर area of rectangle, length into breadth, area of circle, pi r square, area of triangle, half base into height, and all such type of formulas which you have studied in your school days are all derived from this definition that you join small element to get the large one. And this process of joining small element to get the large one, actually we call it as integration, which was given by Newton, as I have already briefed you, to prove his fourth law of motion. This definition of joining the small element to get the large one will further improved, and it is highly applicable in business organizations also. Business organizations also, there are many applications whereby we join small element to get the large one. Before I tell you the application side of integration, this is a high time that we should quickly revise what is integration all about and what are the various formulas of integration. And this is a good opportunity for those who are first of all reading or learning the concept of integration for the first time, or for those who have learned it but they have, this is the time for them to quickly revise what they have learned. And feel free, if there is any confusion, any doubt, we will discuss about that. So I will open up my Word file to further elaborate this part. This is what we have. I hope my Word file is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So as I told you, small elements. Of small elements, what does this mean? Small elements, we have x as a variable. Now element of x is actually the small element of x, which we call it as, at times we call it as delta x. जैसे हम आपने टेक्निकल वर्ड सुना होगा डेल्टा एक्स. ये जो वर्ड डेल्टा एक्स है, is nothing but it is a small element. Small x is element of x. Now you join them. We join them, these small elements, to obtain the large one. The small elements are mixed together to obtain the large one. And this joining means summation, addition. Like we have x1, then we have plus x2, for example. One element x2, then we join it with x3. So, and so on and so forth. When you join them, this will actually the process of integration. यहीं से ये वर्ड इंटीग्रेट से निकला है वर्ड इंटीग्रेशन. Now as you know that like differentiation, integration has its own language, has its own style of writing, has its own grammar, has its own terminology. And if you want to learn integration, you have to learn it in its language itself. उसकी अपनी एक लैंग्वेज है, उसकी अपनी एक टर्मिनोलॉजी है. लाइक डिफरेंशिएशन में हमने क्या किया था, d by dx. We have already given it to you, this expression. right? So here integration, we don't have this, we have a symbol, which I have already discussed it with you. We have a symbol. I will show you the symbol of integration. That symbol will always signifies that this is always identifies that this is the integration process which is going on. तो मैं आपको फिर एक बार क्लियर कर रहा हूं कि if we have a function fx, let me talk about in technical language. If we have the function fx and we have to find out the change in the function, अगर हमें change in the function चाहिए तो we go for differentiation. Okay? But if we have the function fx and we don't want the change, we want adding small elements to get a large one. We don't want change, we want adding small element to get a large one. We go for integration. At time, then from this, what we can infer, what we can conclude is, at time, integration is also known as the opposite of differentiation. जहाँ differentiation ये कहता है कि आप बड़े एलिमेंट्स को स्मॉल एलिमेंट में ब्रेक करिए और फिर चेंज निकालिए, वही इंटीग्रेशन उसका अपोजिट कहता है कि स्मॉल एलिमेंट्स को जोड़ के बड़ा एलिमेंट निकालिए. So that is the reason integration is also known as anti-derivative. ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट है कि इंटीग्रेशन इज ऑल्सो नोन एज एंटी डेरिवेटिव. अपोजिट कहलाता है डेरिवेटिव. When integration is also anti-derivative, we have this anti-derivative, opposite of the derivative, opposite of the differentiation. So with this starting point, let me move ahead and let me start with this concept of integration. What is integration all about and how do we calculate the integration? The only thing that you have to remember in your mind is कि कोई भी फंक्शन आपको दे रखा हो, याद रखिए कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम स्मॉल एलिमेंट्स को मिला के एक लार्ज एलिमेंट बना रहे हैं. This concept is very much applicable in the context to business organizations. I will open up my PowerPoint presentation to further brief you about this process of integration. Is my slide visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I just briefed you that integration is what? It is the antiderivative. So that is why its starting point is integrated. I'm not. No, this list. This is what we have. So integration, as its symbol represents, this is what we have the symbol. ये जो आप देख रहे हैं fx के साथ जो symbol लगा हुआ है, this symbol, this is the symbol for integration. I have not used this word indefinite integral, definite integral, because integration is actually divided in two parts. What are the two parts? As I told you that integration is a process of joining a small element to get a large one. Now जब आप छोटे छोटे एलिमेंट को मिला के लार्ज बनाते हैं और अगर हमें ये पता है कि कहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है और कहाँ पे एंड करना है, that is, if we know from where do we start and where do we end, then that integration we call it as definite integration. उसे हम कहते हैं definite integration. For example, from 0 to 10. For example, from 10 to 20. So if this we call it as limits. If the limits are specified 10 to 20, that is known as definite integration. But if the limits are not mentioned, are not identified, then that integration we call it as indefinite integration. तो स्टार्टिंग में समझाने के पर्पज से हमेशा इंटीग्रेशन को इंडेफिनिट लिया जाता है, उसको डेफिनेट नहीं रखा जाता, बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग कंसेप्चुअली. तो कंसेप्चुअली जब हम ये बात बता रहे हैं कि वी हैव टू ऐड स्मॉल एलिमेंट्स टू गेट अ लार्ज वन, वी हैव नॉट सेट एनी लिमिट, वी आर जस्ट गिविंग यू एन आइडिया. And let me focus on that. Suppose we have the function fx, we have a small function fx, and we want to obtain the integration of this fx. This is simple integration of fx with respect to dx. So we have fx with respect to dx. This is the way that we write. That is how we write fx into dx. It gives you the integration capital Fx, and that is always followed by a constant c. So we have the integration, we always have the integration fx, capital Fx I am talking about, plus c. So मैं जरा सा वर्ड फाइल ओपन करता हूँ to make you understand it better. Fx, and we are taking the integration and that will give you capital Fx. ये मैं आपको बताना चाह रहा था. This is the difference. Small f, this is a function under consideration, and we have taken the integration, that is integration, to get it capital Fx. So Fx is the function and the integration of this function is capital Fx. Now whenever you integrate a function f to obtain capital Fx, this is always followed by a constant c. This is always focused on this, the constant c. This c is what? Constant. हमेशा जब भी हम इंटीग्रेशन निकालेंगे, so it is always followed by the integral plus the constant. This is what we have. Now let me focus on some important part of the definition. Now, these are some formulas which I am showing you, that is the rules of integration. There are certain rules of integration. How do we calculate the integration? Right? So there, first rule, which is very similar. Let us compare this rule with differentiation, the exponential function. Differentiation में भी इसको अगर आप differentiation से compare करेंगे, so you remember that in the differentiation, our first point is exponential function, x raised to the power n, and you take the integration of this function, integration of xn. The integration of this is x n plus n divided by n plus 1 plus c. This is what we have, right? Rules of integration. One, exponential function, as I have already discussed it with you. Exponential function, right? X is to the power n. And if you want to find out this is the first function that we have. Exponential function, right? So if you want to take the integration of this function, we have x n plus 1 divided by, yes, anybody?
N plus 4.
n plus 1.
X n plus 1 whole divided by whole divided by n. If you have this is in bracket. N plus 1 divided by n plus 1. There is only one condition here. Okay, n can take any value except n should not
Minus
be equal
1.
to should not be equal to should not be minus. बस minus 1 नहीं होना चाहिए. Why? Because if n is minus 1, then in the denominator it will become 0. And then when something comes in the denominator as 0, it will become undefined, not defined. So this formula is for exponential function. फिर मैंने वही जो आपको formulas बताए थे differentiation के अंदर. What is that? If this is constant multiplied by this function, if we have the second function, this one, constant multiplied by this, it will remain the same. It will remain the same. The only thing that will be here is that we have an additional c. We have this one. We have c multiplied by this fn and this. We have this one. Third, again the same as what we have discussed in differentiation. What would happen if we have the summation of two functions? अगर एक function ना है बल्कि दो function हो तो क्या होगा? For example, we have exponential function.
So उनको individually integrate करेंगे क्या?
Individually integrate कर लेंगे and put the sign whatever we have in between. Either it is plus or minus. So whatever we have. Suppose we have function fx, and then we have plus. We have another function gx. Right? If we want to calculate the integration of these two functions together, तो हमें क्या करना होगा? We take the integration of fx first, fx. Then we put plus sign and then we integrate the function gx. So likewise, we have to apply the rule of integration, and we have these 2-3 important rules that you always have to remember whenever we go for integration. So what I will do, I will stop here, and if time permits, tomorrow I will engage your class. Depending upon your schedule and my availability, inshallah, I will engage a class whereby I try to solve some questions of integration to all.
Sir? Hello?
Yes, please, I'm listening. Please.
Sir, we have to put a constant. Still, we have to add a constant in the third part.
Everywhere. Third part also, first part also, second part. That's what I already told you. Integration, whenever you calculate, you have to put the constant. जैसे पहले में है, वहां पर भी प्लस कांस्टेंट होगा, सेकंड में भी प्लस कांस्टेंट होगा और थर्ड में भी सिंगल कांस्टेंट आ जाएगा. दोनों को ऐड करके सिंगल कांस्टेंट है. मैं अभी आपको बताऊंगा, कैलकुलेट कराऊंगा. डोंट वरी. In the next class, I will take one by one and I will try to solve questions. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir.